Hello, my friends. This episode is 3 months in the making. I have been going through and updating and elevating my health in so many different ways from 2025 or the end of 2024. And I really want to share all of the things that have been the real favorites, the real things that have really made a difference to me and stuff that I consider probably being in my life for a good while going forward. So if I can save you time, money, or just kind of direct you to things you may not have considered before, here's my gift to you and my joy to share with you. Okay, so I'm gonna go through different things. One thing actually I wanna say, because I'll otherwise forget right away, is that I am upgrading my eyes. So the reason I'm wearing my glasses right now, which I didn't normally ever do, is because I have a -4 prescription my entire life, and I'm about to go through laser eye surgery as of next week. So by the time you've watched this, I'll probably have already gotten the surgery, but ahead of time I have to wear glasses pre-surgery. So I'll be getting that done. To be fair, I won't know until Wednesday next week if I'm getting LASIK or the new one, which I'm hoping I get, which is called Smile. So for anyone that has glasses and has heard about LASIK and the cornea flap and all that kind of stuff and felt a little bit like me, which was like, ooh, that sounds very invasive and I don't think I could sit through that, I decided to look up with ChatGPT if there was anything new, because literally the other day, my friend Natalie and I were walking down the street and I rubbed concealer into my contacts. So I had one eye, this eye was like blocked this entire Sunday afternoon walk. And at one point, she'd already had laser, so she was talking me into the consideration for it. And I said, well, if there's something that isn't LASIK, that is now technologically an advancement forward, that's less invasive, I'd be open to it. But then after that, we walked by Hugh Grant, I kid you not, and I missed him because my eye was cluttered with the makeup and the contact. And if I had just not been wearing contacts, the makeup would have washed out of my eye. Instead, I was just sitting there blocked for 3 hours, including missing Hugh Grant. And I was like, you know what? I'm sick of missing. I used to miss celebrities too. I used to live near Russell Crowe and on the wharf in Sydney. And when I was in the period of not wearing glasses, I also didn't see him because I was too blurry just in general to see him from a distance, even though we walked by him with friends. So I'm like, I'm done missing celebrities and things in my life. I'm going to be able to see clearly. So that's something I'm upgrading and elevating. And if you're like me, like I said, chat with ChatGPT if you want to find out if there's a great clinic or if there's a good potential surgery that might be right for you. Smile seems like one. I like even the name of it. So I'm fingers crossed that my surgeon on Wednesday will say that Thursday surgery can be Smile for me, but I still have to find out at that appointment. So that's one thing I'm going to do. I've also upgraded my teeth. So let me share about that. So my eyes are going new, my teeth are going new. I'm just turned 40 in October last year. So if anyone's a millennial like me and you had metal fillings in your teeth from a long time ago, like when I was a child, I think I had 3 metal fillings in my teeth and I never touched them. I decided to go to a dentist and finally kind of be an adult, and I'm not traveling anymore. There's no excuse for me not to have a dentist on a regular basis. When I went, I decided to upgrade my fillings from the metal fillings from childhood into sealant. And it's nice because they're white, so in the past, you could have seen I had one of the silver fillings in the very back on the molar, and now you can't see the whiteness. So that was, I like the upgrade. Actually, it was a pretty upgrade at the same time, but there also was decay underneath those metal fillings that weren't very present. Like one of them looked like there could be issues underneath when we did the examination, and there were 2 others that looked totally fine. I decided to just do all 3 in one go. I have to say I'm so glad I did. There was decay underneath the other 2 that looked totally fine, as well as the one that they thought might have that happen. So I'm so happy I took care of it, nipped it in the bud. There was no issues, no discomfort. I have to say, someone asked me on Instagram, is it uncomfortable? No. I've had Botox, and that is more uncomfortable to have those tiny little needles on your face than getting your actual surgery for your, not surgery, but your fillings. And otherwise, if I had not done it, there easily in the longer, let's say another 10 years, could have been deeper issues that would have been present if I hadn't done it now. So I'm really glad I took care of it. I just want to put that little PSA out there in case it's aligning for anyone else in my kind of age bracket to maybe look at those fillings and is it time to get those updated. So that along with my dentist, who I really like here in London. He's got a nice sense of science and spirituality about him and consciousness. And so he understands my also passion for not having fluoride in my toothpaste for the calcification of the pineal gland. I know the wooey people out there will totally understand and get that. If you're looking for something that is fluoride free, but also is good in other ways, he recommended me this toothpaste, and I found it on health.com. I think it might be a UK company, but either way, it's called Gotology Mineral Toothpaste with hydroxyapatite. So apparently I think hydroxyapatite is, I'm not a dentist, but I think that's what our teeth are made out of, or somehow this helps remineralize teeth. So I think that is really cool. That is also, by the way, like probiotic. It's like gut friendly. Yes, this is Gotology. So I love that this is doing things for my gut, for my teeth, for my mouth, for my pineal gland, you name it. It seems really great. And then also I'm pairing it with, and this is a UK small company invented by women dentists. It's called Spotlight Oral Care, and 2 women dentists invented this company. And what I like about this is it's a teeth whitening powder. So this is very cool. I'll show you in a cutaway what this looks like, but it's very pretty to look at actually. And then I put this on the toothpaste and I turn this into a whitening toothpaste. How cool is that? So you can get your hippy dippy fluoride free kind of, toothpaste if you want to, or whatever your favorite might be. Even I guess like charcoal or something if you wanted, but then you could put this on top and this will turn your toothpaste into whitening toothpaste. How cool is that? So haven't seen this product in any other brands before, but happy that I use it. I use it every evening just to keep my teeth a little bit whiter. The other mouth thing I've done, so I've upgraded my mouth game a lot. I've shared this on the podcast most recently. This is coconut oil, and it's just the one I had from Whole Foods that I got for my eggs to scramble when I make scrambled eggs. But it's a big old jar of coconut oil, and way back in like 2012, I think I was first influenced by the idea of doing oil pulling, and I'm doing it again. I only did it for a few months back then, but I remembered it and have started using it once again, and I am so happy I've been doing it again. So if you don't know what this is, you can find thousands, I'm sure hundreds of videos on YouTube talking about this, so I'll save you all of the details and the background and the history, and all those details can be other people's videos for you. I want to cover more things than this, but I just put a spoonful of this in my mouth. I swish it around for 15 minutes. I sometimes put a timer on in the morning. I just do this straight when I wake up, and it helps your gum and oral health so much. It's very antibacterial, and then you spit it out. The one top tip, if you're going to do this just by listening to my video, a spoonful, 10 to 20 minutes in your mouth. I do 15 every day. And then I spit it in the trash. Don't spit it in your toilet. Don't spit it in your sinks. It'll clog the pipes because this kind of ends up hardening after you've spit it out. Also, when you do this, you want to get a different toothbrush head or use a different toothbrush for you right after this because of all the bacteria that you're spitting out. There's a lot more present, but I have to tell you, I was not that great at flossing, and being consistent at flossing was not my skill set, and now my gums and health in my gums are just top notch. Like I can floss and I have absolute zero discomfort or bleeding or any of that stuff because this is doing such a good job. So just in case anyone else is like me that doesn't love flossing, I still do floss, but I don't have to do it even every day. And my gums are in immaculate condition because I'm using this every day alongside the flossing. So just want to remind you to maybe influence you to do some oil pulling like we did back in 2012 or whenever that was. Okay, now coming into supplements and that kind of thing. The supplements I've decided to try are this. This is a custom blend. So I have mentioned this in my podcast. I haven't talked deeply about it. I do want to have Lindsay, the owner of the Designer Jeans Co., come on the podcast soon. So stay tuned for an episode with her talking about her trainings. I ended up investing personally and paying for a DNA analysis of my own DNA and my genetic markers and how those affect my health and my needs when it comes to supplementation. And then once I did that, I actually spent the money because I was just collecting a lot of supplements and wasn't sure which ones I needed, which ones I didn't, and I didn't want to swallow a million pills every day. So in order to save money, consolidate, and streamline the whole process, I decided to work with Lindsay, the owner, and make my own blend of supplements. So this is everything I need from a genetic perspective, my goals and aspirations like growing my hair strong, so we added biotin and that kind of thing. And it just makes it simple. I just take 4 of these pills, just regular capsules a day, but has all the things that I wanted it to have and also some of the symptoms I was experiencing and I wanted to clear out along with things that would be good for my genetics. So highly, this is obviously something that's only probably relevant if you decided to do the DNA analysis. But if you did decide to do that, it's something I've done and it has been really nice. I think this is kind of everyone that gets into supplements dream is like, can I just have a custom thing that is just everything I need? Yes, I found a way to do that. This may not be the only way to have that done, but this is where I found my path to it. The other thing I added, and this I just really want to share for everyone that is like me that has allergies. I did not have allergies until coming to London, and not seriously until a year ago. But from the last year forward, from this spring season forward, 1 year ago, I started having horrible allergies in the outside when I was walking around in nature. This is so normal and so common in the UK. I know so many people with major issues. If you have allergies, can I say, you either have DAO or HMRT, that's a gene, and DAO is a gene. I went to ChatGPT and I started talking to it about my genes, and it asked me to look up on my, big report that I had just done in the autumn before. It said, okay, tell me about this, this, and this. It was about 15 genes that it asked me for. And then it said, okay, based on your needs, it suggested quercetin and NAC with vitamin C. Now, this already had vitamin C in it, and because of this, I just use this as my vitamin C source, so that's taken care of. But what I did add in was glycine and quercetin. Quercetin helps your mast cells release the excess histamine that are sitting in your body. So this helps your body clear out extra histamine that is sitting there and needs support. This NAC, it comes with glycine. Glycine's a happy bonus. It's great for many things, but it's not necessarily a primary need for your issues with histamine. But the NAC piece of this clears out the mucus that you get as you get that runny nose and you get those issues with inflammation and the mucus that comes with histamine overload. So I can just say quercetin and NAC with vitamin C has literally solved my need for those little white pills, and all of my energy came back almost immediately. Like the first day that I started doing these, I had 5 hours of sleep. I couldn't even sleep because I was too energized. So this is from donotage.org. Highly recommend this company. They're obsessed biohackers with research and quality of supplementation. They also are extremely well organized. This is a US company, so I don't know how their fulfillment centers work there, but in the UK, this American company delivers next day. So I ordered on the afternoon, and the next day I had it in my body, in my system, taking care of business. The only thing I would say, if you're gonna take this, and this is the video I wish I had to have someone tell me this, because I was like, why aren't people talking about this? Like, if you need it, if you have bad DAO enzyme, you also would want to support your DAO. By the way, if you have no idea if you have a DAO enzyme, an inclination, I can't tell you what it is, whether it's strong or weak or not, but if you're very prone to getting sick, if your immune system's weakened and your gut is weakened, odds are your DAO enzyme's not very strong. It may not be the only reason your gut is not strong, but if you have lots of allergies, bad gut, and bad immunity, odds are DAO is weak. And you might also have the HMRT gene that's not helping you either. But if you're like me, where I'm strong, healthy, immune system's great, my gut is great, then it's probably just your HMRT gene, and that's where these 2 plus vitamin C can come in handy. I take them as needed, so 3, 4, or 5 times a day. In the high season of allergies like we're in right now, I would take it every time I get a runny nose, and it goes away. It's just magic. And the fact is, if you're very curious, even if you're just interested in biohacking, can I tell you, just Google or go to ChatGPT and say, what would be the benefits of taking quercetin, glycine, and NAC? Because when I was buzzing in bed and was like awake until midnight because I was so energized after getting off those stupid little antihistamine pills, and I was taking this, and I just felt like my body was finally clearing out the root problem, I said, what else is this doing? Because I know these have so many multiple benefits, not just histamine alone. And there's 30 different things that these are doing in combination. So I know it sounds a bit faffy to take 3 to 5 times to have quercetin. And by the way, quercetin is a flavonoid. It's an antioxidant. It comes in shallots and capers, but you can never eat the amount of capers and shallots that this would actually have, especially at the higher doses. But if you have histamines, this is life-changing. You're welcome. Bella watching this needed this video. So I just want to share that and say, solve your histamines. You do not need to suffer like I have the last year. And another one, I've already decanted this, there's no actual pills in here. And this is from Lindsay, the owner of the Designer Jeans company. She recommended this as a probiotic. It's the best I've ever found, even better than a previous one that I used to take that was very expensive here in the UK and was liquid. It's got a big following. It's not a bad company. It was the second best probiotic I've ever taken, but it was expensive and complicated because you needed to have the liquids with you, etc. This Megaspore Biotic is just as good, if not even better, and is cheaper and easier to take because you just are pills in the morning. So if you're looking for an amazing probiotic, I highly recommend this one. I've never tried a better one yet. And if I find one, I'll share it, but this is so far totally winning. Okay, next up on the, designer jeans front. So I invested in the DNA, and then I also invested in the peptide therapy training that she offered. To be honest, the real reason I wanted to do the DNA wasn't for DNA. I wanted to take the peptide course. I love skincare, and I know how powerful peptides are in your skincare. And so when I saw that she was offering that as a training, I was like, ooh, I want to know what peptides do in your body. Because if they're so good for your skin, what more could be unlocked from such a technology? So I did the training on DNA, but really I did it so I could get the peptide training. They're different courses, but I just thought they would both be beneficial to build on top of each other. Once you know what your DNA is, then applying it to your peptide deciding and stuff like that, or decisions. I was right, it's amazing. And by the way, if you do want to take her trainings, we're gonna have her on the show, so we'll have her. But by the way, she just came on to the Love Club and did a workshop for us there, and they loved it. And she's offering $200 off of her trainings for people using the code Love Club. So you can use the code Love Club if you want to actually take the DNA, or the peptides, or both. Like I said, I did both trainings. It was a big investment at the time, and I thought, oh my gosh, this is a lot of money to go into my health. I've never spent that kind of money before on something other than spirituality. And I was just so desperate for finding new answers, and my inner voice had said, go to new things, not old solutions. And I thought peptide sounded so new, and even DNA, that I was like, okay, let me try this. And I got double what I invested in it in terms of results. And I've applied everything Lindsay said to do, and my life and my body and my health is just so much better for it. So peptides, this is what an example of a little peptide. I take it every day. I've done this for 60 days so far. I want to do the episode with Lindsay once I get to the end of my 100-day cycle of this one, which is called epidolon. It's a amino acid that you would normally secrete from your pineal gland, but in smaller doses. So this is actually signaling and upregulating and putting in more signals so that your body can do more with what you might have had more of when you were younger. But epidolon is great for hormone balancing. It grows your telomeres, which are the end caps of your DNA, which is incredibly magical because as those fray out, our genetic replication over time ages, and that's why we age as people, is because our telomeres, the end caps, are getting frayed. But as it's regrowing them, how amazing is that? So it also makes me sleep like an absolute champ. I sleep like a baby. I've never slept better since my 20s. I can't even remember sleeping better than I've maybe never slept as deeply. It helps with your melatonin secretion. The only kind of interesting thing is you do dose it, peptides this way, with a subcutaneous injection, which is a teeny tiny little, I think these are insulin needles. They're the tiniest needle you can get. And I will say, even though it was very weird to learn how to do this, she taught it very well. So I was obviously very well trained in order to do this appropriately and safely for myself. I also feel like I'm in great care with the training and the oversight and the communication we have in the group. But I have to say, I do this every single day, and my hair is growing. I was even having to make sure that we're not having all my I call them little alien sprouts, because all these baby hairs are all over the place growing from this peptide. I've been taking biotin forever. I have not had these little baby hairs go so crazy as when I'm taking this. The number of benefits epidolon alone can have are pretty endless, but there's other peptides to take too, but this is one of the 3 that I've tried, and so I just wanted to show you what it looks like. This thing, by the way, I know the idea of doing it's very intimidating. The reality of it, though, is it's completely painless when you do it the right way. I figured out the idea of it going in feels painful, it's because I'm putting it in the wrong spots. If I put it into fat, which is where it should go, I literally can't feel it even go in. So very easy to take every day, no big deal. Just a bit of a learning curve, and you're like, whoa, this is new. But once you're into it, it's so easy. And then last but not least, this is another Lindsay suggestion, is electrolytes. And I want to specifically call out, because I don't think all electrolytes at all are created equal. And the real winner, Elementi. Again, Lindsay, the owner, suggested this. It's expensive, but everything she suggested was so good that I kept going on her suggestions. And these are life-changing electrolytes. I promise you, a normal electrolyte doesn't seem life-changing because they're not. That's not to say these are not life-changing, but regular electrolytes are not that interesting. This is 1,000 milligrams of sodium, 200 potassium, 60 magnesium. This ratio has been studied by the company to be the most effective. We actually need a lot more sodium than the FDA would have us to believe based on their daily value recommendations, but you need to have it with magnesium and potassium. So when you're doing it in the right proportions, you get magical results. I was very skeptical because I'd been brainwashed to think that salt is bad for you. So I thought I was doing so great not having much salt in my diet. But actually putting these into my diet has given me so much more energy. And so this is my daytime one. I like the raspberry salt. They have many flavors, but raspberry is my favorite. And I have to say, this has changed my evening life for the better. So I used to try to have tea at night, but to be honest, I didn't really like the tea. I just thought it's something you should drink if you're not drinking wine or water. So I was just drinking tea, but I didn't really like drinking tea the way that I absolutely love drinking this. So this one's the chocolate caramel. They have other chocolate flavors too, but I think this one's personally the best. You put it in hot water and it's like hot chocolate at night, but it's sodium, potassium, and magnesium, and tastes absolutely delicious. It is so much better than tea. I look forward to drinking it every night. So, all right, and then the runner-up, the only other one I think personally, and this is just a backup for hydration. These are my real impacts, but my other little favorite one is Humantra, I think this is called, Humantra, and I like it because it is rose, but it also has a nice amount of other things. There's 6 electrolytes, immunity support, and more things. So this is definitely above your average electrolyte mix, and I love the rose flavor, and it is hydrating. But these two are actually, like I said, like the equivalent of having a snack in terms of energy. These will actually lift you up and like move you forward, where these are just very good for hydration alone. So there you have it, my friends. This has truly been a whole journey for me. My teeth, my eyes, my hair is growing, my body, my hormones are better in balance now than ever before. I'm sleeping like a child. Like, there's so many benefits from everything I've just shared. Oh, I forgot, but wait, there's more. One last thing, castor oil. I know this is a big trend right now online. I'm sure you've seen all of the videos, but in case you have been under a rock and you haven't seen about castor oil, I got shown a bunch of videos on it and got into it, and I have to say something that no one else has said. So there's 1,000 videos on castor oil. I'm not gonna do the real justice to the actual product. Please go look at other people's stuff to get all the details on castor oil. This is the one that I found based on like 5-star, 5,000 reviews here in the UK. It's organic castor oil, cold pressed, all the stuff you're looking for. I know that some people will be hardcore and say don't put the plastic in it and stuff. So if you want, don't get the plastic. Make sure it's glass. Put a cap on it and just pour it into your hand. I just bought this and I'm not that stressed about it, but in the future I'll get one without the plastic so that I will go forward. I've also heard one lady say, and only one person say, to replace these every 30 days so that the smell of the castor oil apparently gets stronger over time, but the one lady that did it for a year found that it was more efficacious when it was used fresher and it also had less of a smell. She recommended basically, this is a 500 ml bottle. In the future, I'll just be getting 300 ml bottles and I'll just run through it. I put it on. People were asking me, it is very thick, but I just take lotion, like a body lotion, whatever one you have is fine. Put 1 pump of that and then 2 pumps of this onto every arm and leg and your torso and stuff. And it does a really nice job kind of cutting the consistency to a point where I still get in bed. It does sort of get on the sheets. And if I did only castor oil, it might be a little bit worse, but because I'm cutting it by 1/3 with the lotion, it's really not that big a deal. I just don't stress about it. And it's amazingly moisturizing. So I've loved this. I can't imagine now going through another winter, especially a winter, without using this every evening. Because it does ruin or eat up your self-tan a little faster, I ended up buying the gradual self-tanner to use as a lotion with this so that I could add self-tan in the lotion side of things while I'm using this, and it's helping my tan last longer while I'm using castor oil. And you can also take it, and this is just a different bottle, with grapeseed oil and some of the castor oil. So it's about 50-50 mix. I just put them together. Grapeseed oil is really good for the under eyes, making it less purple, but so is castor oil. So I use a little bit of this dropper on my fingers and then dab it around the purples in my eyes. They've never been less purple, and I am someone with very lilac purple, bright purple under eyes. It's just my genetics, Irish genes, but I have to say this has done such a good job. So if you're someone like me that has those bright purples, please if you're looking for something. I've never found an eye cream at all that's worked as well as this. And then last but not least, I just have to say, for anybody that's like me that found out that they have this thing called seborrheic ketosis, or I forget, seborrheic ketosis, I forget the name of the dermatology thing, but it's basically a genetic thing where you get these little brown spots, kind of like freckles or moles, but they're kind of scabby, they're gross. And if you have them, you know what I'm talking about. They were starting to show up in my body more and more, and never have I heard anyone talk about this, but I started using this for moisture on my body, and it took those little scaly bits away. So if you have that issue, again, I just have to say, like histamines, use castor oil. If you've got those little brown things that kind of pop up, they're not quite moles, not freckles, there's this other kind of third thing, this gets them away. And I've never heard anyone talk about it, but I don't think a lot of people have that condition. So if you happen to, please use castor oil and see if it goes away for you too, because I think that's a really beautiful benefit. This does so many things, but that is one of them I've never heard anyone speak about before. So there you have it, my friends. I hope this helps you. Whatever, you know, floats your boat, whatever inspires you. Maybe if it's just even the oil pulling, even just that little trick alone was game changing for me. So I hope it helped, and may something wonderful happen to you today.